Hello YouTube, my name's Nero, and today we have the Battlefield Hardline beta in this week's episode of Dear Nero, which is the weekly series here on my channel where subscribers send me in fan mail and or fan questions. I do best to go ahead and answer them. The gameplay you guys are watching right now is my first game ever while playing Battlefield Hardline. Well, I guess Battlefield Hardline beta, and it's actually this version of the beta considering I played the last version of the beta, but that was also on PC, so I don't really know what you could consider this to be. But I know when a game comes out or something new, something relative to that, some people like to see what your first experience is with the game, and this was the first game I had on the beta while playing on console. Of course, I played the last beta as well, but that was on the PC, and of course that was not in this game mode, and that was not on this map, you know, that kind of idea. So regardless, I thought you guys would enjoy the gameplay. Then after that, we're going to cut through some Advanced Warfare stuff. So I know not everybody's a giant fan of Battlefield. I get that. I understand that. So for those of you guys that like Battlefield Hardline, you guys are enjoying the beta so far. Here's my first ever game while playing the beta. Then after that, we got a couple of Advanced Warfare gameplays that you guys will hopefully sit back, relax, and enjoy. But keep in mind, it's Dear Nero, right? I mean, no one really watches Dear Nero for the gameplay. I bet 90% of you don't even watch the gameplay when you watch Dear Nero. You just have it on in the background while you play a video game or something like that. I know you guys, because I do the same thing for other people. But let's hop into the questions here. First one's actually going to be relative to Battlefield Hardline, and I guess it fits. It fits the gameplay. So the first question, he's going to write, Dear Nero, do you prefer the feature of buying your upgrades and guns in Battlefield Hardline, or the old way of having to earn upgrades and guns by doing special challenges and spending time in that specific class, like in older Battlefields? Adam from Illinois. So Adam, I would say I kind of like the Hardline system. Of course, I like the old system as well. I thought there was nothing wrong with the old system. Being able to play a lot with a class, like for example, if you play a lot of the medic class, the assault class, then you're going to unlock more assault rifles and stuff like that as a result of that, and that can be nice. That can definitely be nice, and it's kind of rewarding in that sense. You're like, yeah, I've leveled up my engineer so much, I've unlocked this awesome engineer PDW. It's awesome. That's kind of a neat thing that you can have. But in Hardline, it's a bit different of a game, and I like the new system. The new system's actually improved in some respects, definitely. You look at the fact that, okay, you can buy weapons with cash that you earn in-game. Therefore, you can unlock any weapon that you want. You don't have to go down like a progression tree. I don't believe. I haven't unlocked too many weapons so far, but I don't think you have to go down like a giant tree. You can just kind of buy the weapon that you would like to buy, and that can definitely be nice. You can do that. Of course, you can just buy different kinds of tools and stuff like that. Like you're an engineer, you can buy the repair tool instead of having to level up your engineering. If you have the cash, it's okay. Instead of leveling up my engineering a bit, I'm just going to go ahead and buy this. It's kind of similar to the COD point system that Black Ops 1 had, which can definitely be nice. You also look at the fact that they changed around Battle Packs, and Battle Packs is actually a lot better than what it used to be. So Battle Packs of Battlefield 4, which keep in mind I played a ton of Battlefield 4. When I stopped playing, I was like almost level 100. And in that game, you unlock a battle pack, and it's like, oh boy, I just got me an ACOG sight for a gun I don't even have unlocked or used, right? You would get that, like, well, that was kind of worthless. Now, instead of that, they give you an ACOG voucher. And what you can do with that voucher is you can choose which weapon you would like to unlock the ACOG sight. So no longer do you unlock, like, an ACOG for some random gun. You unlock just an ACOG sight voucher that you can use on anything. Like, for example, I think I got some kind of, like, holographic sight, something like that, as a voucher, and I use that on my MP5K. And the reason I use on the MP5K is because it's the only engineering weapon I have so far. Of course, I want to try out the UMP45 when I can actually unlock that and have the cash for it. But for right now, I'm like, I want to try out a new sight on my MP5K. So I'm like, okay, let's do that. So I used my voucher on it, and there I have it. Also got a camo out of it. It's nice that the battle packs are better that way. And of course, instead of randomly earning battle packs, you can buy battle packs for I think the bronze battle packs are $2,000 in game, right? That kind of idea. And then there's of course the silver and the gold, but those cost a lot more. And of course, you'll get better stuff out of them. So that's neat. You can also use that money to buy battle packs. You use it to buy guns. It's all about earning that money in game. That really kind of fits the theme of the game. So I like it. I definitely think it works. Would it work in an older Battlefield game? Probably not. Like if you think of Battlefield 4, the idea of earning money in Battlefield 4 doesn't really make a lot of sense. It doesn't fit the theme of the game, right? But Battlefield Hardline, it definitely fits the theme of it, and I like it. I think it's a good system. Next question. He writes, Dear Nero, what if Zampella and West never left the original Infinity Ward? Max from Maryland. That's an interesting question. A lot of people ask that. So if you guys don't know, Vince Zampella and Jason West, they were like the head guys, right? They were the big guys at Infinity Ward the old Infinity Ward, back in like 2010. So if you guys don't know, to quickly run down it, basically there's the old Infinity Ward, then there's the new Infinity Ward. The old Infinity Ward made great games. It made Call of Duty 2, and they made Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2. All very good games by a lot of respects. But during Modern Warfare 2, there was a giant like thing thing with Activision, like they like some kind of contract dispute or something, and it resulted in Vince Zampella and Jason West and literally all but like 4 or 5 of the original Infinity Ward team leaving, and most of them going off to Respawn Entertainment to make Titanfall. So they all ended up leaving Infinity Ward, and the reason Modern Warfare 2 was so bugged and had so many glitches and stuff was because they had no one to support it. There was like literally no developer there to fix stuff, that kind of idea. So it's kind of bad that ended up happening. What would have happened if Zampella and West never left the original Infinity Ward? I think Modern Warfare 2 would go down as one of the best Call of Duties of all time, because the only thing that really held that game back, of course, you guys know, was the Danger Close grenade launchers. Those were awful. The entire one-man army perk was just broken by design. Shouldn't have been in the game. Danger Close, you shouldn't have been in the game. They probably would have patched that kind of stuff. We wouldn't have had as many bugs and glitches with that game, like you think the Javelin glitch or the infinite care packages or all that stuff, right? We wouldn't have had the infinite domination on Rust lobbies or anything like that. It all would have been fixed, and that would have been nice. And because of that, I feel so Modern Warfare 2 would have went down as one of the best Call of Duties of all time. Keep in mind, if they never left, the original Infinity Ward team was there, the new awful Infinity Ward never would have showed up. So Modern Warfare 3 probably would have been made. They probably would have made Modern Warfare 3, but it wouldn't have been anything like the Modern Warfare 3 that we have. It would have been probably a lot better. It probably would have been a lot more like Modern Warfare 2, because keep in mind, the reason why there's such a drastic difference between Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 is 2 completely different studios made that game. Even though they both say Infinity Ward, 2 completely different studios made those games, right? The new Infinity Ward versus the old Infinity Ward. Old Infinity Ward probably would have made the game better. I didn't like Modern Warfare 3, as you guys know, and I think it would have been a lot more like Modern Warfare 2. It would have been a lot more colorful. Kill streaks would have reigned supreme, I feel as though. It would have been like Modern Warfare 2, but maybe ramped up a little bit. That could have been a whole lot of fun. Of course, Call of Duty Ghosts wouldn't have happened either, so who knows what they would have did with that. An interesting idea that I don't think people really cover a lot is if Vince Zampella and Jason West, like the original Infinity Ward team, if they would have actually stayed rather than leaving to go make Titanfall, I wonder if Titanfall-esque aspects would have actually made its way into Call of Duty with the original Infinity Ward team. I wonder if the idea of wall running and double jumping and stuff like that would have made it into the Call of Duty franchise a lot sooner than it did in Advanced Warfare. Of course, there's no wall running in Advanced Warfare, but you guys get the idea. I wonder if a lot of Titanfall-esque aspects would have made it into Call of Duty. I guess there's no way to know. I guess there's really no way to be able to figure that out. It's all just speculation. It reminds me of my What If series that people always talking that I should bring back, but I don't like the What If series, to be perfectly honest, because What If series was me basically talking about hypotheticals and stuff like I am right now, and it's like there's no actual content there. There's just me going, well, this could happen and this could happen, but who knows? I guess no one knows. I just didn't like the series. I didn't think it was going in a really good direction. I made some cool videos. I liked some of the ones I made, but I don't think I'll ever bring back the What If series. So that is basically, I guess, 2 questions answered in one. What if Zampella and West never left the original Infinity Ward, as well as where is your What If series? Why haven't you done a What If series? Even though, keep in mind, guys, the What If series ended like over a year ago. Let it go. Let it go. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, why Treyarch? Why do you like Treyarch? The guns, the map design, the colors, or the zombies? Everyone knows that Sledgehammer creates the best zombies, like, oh my word. Everything Treyarch does is outshone in this new generation of games. Why don't you see that? And since only someone who's insane would actually be serious while asking these questions and saying these statements, my actual question is, what color are your socks? P.S. First time sending this in for Dear Nero. Oh goodness, his name, Desotio from Greece? It's Desoato. Desoato, maybe? I don't know how to pronounce your name, I'm sure. But I thought that was a fun little question. And at first, I'm like, this is a guy that legitimately hates Treyarch. And I was reading through the question. He's like, why do you like Treyarch? It sucks. Everything's outshone on next-gen console. Then he's like, and anyone that would actually say any of this stuff is out of their mind. So my real question is, what color are your socks? So I thought that was funny. But my socks are actually black for the most part. I don't really have any fancy socks. You just pick them up at Walmart. They're just like black ankle socks. That's basically what I've worn for ever. But I thought it was a funny question just because of the whole, like, oh, I hate Treyarch. I'm just kidding. Treyarch's way better. What color are your socks? I thought that was a funny little question. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, a lot of big YouTubers have a t-shirt shop to support their channel. I noticed that you don't have one. Will you ever think of making one? Thank you, Mason Barrett from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. So North Carolina, I hear it's nice down there. You probably aren't getting pounded with snow, but it's probably a bit colder down there. But up here, I'm in Pennsylvania, of course, up in New York and stuff like that, just pounded with snow, pounded with cold. Will I ever make a t-shirt shop? I don't know. I feel some people that make t-shirt shops, they have like some kind of brand, some kind of logo, something interesting. Like there's always like a theme to their t-shirts and stuff. And my channel doesn't really have that. I don't have any sayings. I don't have any logos besides the end. I don't have anything really fancy that you would actually make merchandise of. But I have had a lot of people ask about that kind of thing. So maybe one day. The answer is always going to be maybe one day. I think if someone asked me about like a t-shirt shop or some kind of merchandise a while back, but I was just like, I don't even know what I would make. I wouldn't even know where to begin with that kind of thing, because literally the only thing that my channel is like quote unquote branded with is that little N logo. That's it. That's the only thing I have. So I really don't know if we'll ever do anything like that. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, now that a little bit of time has passed since Exo Zombies has arrived, I would like to know that of all the Call of Duties, which game delivered the best zombie experience in your honest opinion? Keep up the great work. Sincerely, Vino from Canada. Oh boy, that's a whole can of worms there. So which Call of Duty game put out the best zombies? Do you think it was World at War? Do you think it was the original Black Ops? Do you think it was Black Ops 2? Or do you think it's Advanced Warfare with our Exo Zombies? That's interesting. I think if I had to pick between all of them, just judging on the maps themselves, I'm going to say I think Black Ops 2 probably had the best zombies, to be perfectly honest. Black Ops 2 is a great game. I'll say it time and time again. Yeah, I thought the zombies are pretty cool. You look at the original stuff, like you look at the fact that we had Transit and all the maps there within Transit. Of course, we had Town and Farm, and Diner wasn't really its own map, but Diner, that was one of my favorite parts of Transit. I liked hanging out there. Then you look at what we got with DLC, and we had some really good DLC. Mob of the Dead, one of the best maps ever in zombies, in my opinion. Die Rise was, of course, a whole lot of fun. Buried was okay. It was fun for the first while, but I don't think that map had necessarily a lot of longevity. It was fun to explore the map and fun when you first started playing it, but after a while you kind of realize the best strategy is just to like stand up on top of a roof with that little trampoline wooden thing that you could craft that like shoots zombies, like throws them, and you put that on the other end of the roof and you stand on one end of the roof and you're literally shooting fish in a barrel as they jump up to you. So because of that, I don't feel as the map had a lot of longevity, but the maps in Black Ops 2 I thought were really good. I liked the zombie combat record as well. I talked about that a lot. I like being able to track numbers. I think it's fun to be able to see exactly how many kills I have in zombies. I think that's fun. I liked all the leaderboards, how great those were. I liked how I could compare the amount of kills I had to my friends, the amount of revives I had to my friends, the amount of doors I've opened to my friends and stuff like that. I thought that was cool, and because of that, I thought Black Ops 2 personally, for me, I think had the best zombies of all the different zombies that we've had throughout Call of Duty throughout all these years. And of course, I would be interested to read in the comment section below what do you guys believe, which game had the best zombies? World at War, Black Ops 2, or perhaps even Advanced Warfare, even though it's been out for like a week and it's only one map. But of course, let me know in the comments. I'll still be interested to read about that. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, you gave us tips on how to start YouTube. I was wondering if you could give us tips and go in depth when it comes to fans and stuff. I know at some point you probably had fans that treated you like crap for no reason. Great YouTubers like Louie and Wildcat had fans that practically turned on them when they couldn't upload. Could you give us tips on how to deal with these kind of fans and any other tips for us beginners? P.S. The response doesn't have to be long. Thanks for your videos, Gerald from Florida. So Gerald, that's interesting. So if you guys know, I made a video last week, maybe the week before. It's basically how to start a YouTube channel. Everything you need to know about starting a YouTube channel. I went over all the equipment, I went over the prices and the software and the recording stuff. I went over everything you really need to start your YouTube channel, because I get that question an absurd amount of times over my YouTube career. I've gotten some people like, what microphone do you use? What capture card should I get? That kind of idea. So I'm like, okay, so I'm going to make a video dedicated to that. And I said in that video, would you guys like to know anything else about like running your own YouTube channel? And of course, leave comments, and I would consider making videos on different kinds of stuff. And this guy wants to know, how do you deal with basically hate on YouTube? How do you deal with people that don't like your videos? How do you deal with people that make fun of you? And to be perfectly honest, I guess I don't deal with it at all, because the moment, like, some people, you look at some YouTubers and they have like these fan bases of people that are just against them, and they are subscribed just to dislike their videos the moment they get uploaded, and they leave hateful comments all the time. That doesn't happen on my channel, because the moment I see even a shred of hate, just a little tiny shred, anything that can even be misconstrued as hate, I just block the person. I block them. I block thousands of people. I have blocked thousands of people, I should say. I block people all the time. Screw them. Block them all out. If someone says gameplay was boring, block. Someone says they don't like my voice, always block them. Like, anything, just blocked everybody. That's what I do. So I never really have any issues, I suppose, with people leaving hate. The most, I guess there's really no specific thing people say, because I don't block a lot of people, because I rarely get anything on my videos. I rarely does somebody say something. Some guy, I think the other day, said something about go kill yourself or something like that, or your voice is stupid, go kill yourself, or something like that. That's the first one in a very long time. I just kind of laughed and I blocked the person. That's how I deal with it. It's very simple. Dealing with hate and stuff like that on the internet is you have a block button. It's pretty freaking great. Everybody should try it out. And a lot of YouTubers don't really seem to get that. And of course, at the same time, if you go into your community settings on YouTube, you can of course block out a lot of things that may be construed as hate right from the get, so you don't need to see it, right? So it's somewhere in your community settings, I forget exactly how to navigate to it, but you can go there and you can ban certain words from even being able to be commented on your channel. So anything really kind of racist, any derogatory stuff like fag or gay or anything like that, that's all blocked on my channel. I'm pretty positive you can't say that kind of stuff in the comment section of my videos. That's just something that you can't do. Or maybe you can, maybe it shows up for the person that writes the comment, but nobody else actually sees it. So therefore, you can block off just about anything you would ever construe as hate or anything like that, and you won't even see it. It's pretty freaking great. So yeah, I don't understand what people say, like, oh, it kind of wears down on you or stuff like that. Like, people always kind of fussing at you. It's like, I don't really have that, because if one person does, they get blocked like immediately, and then usually other people don't. I think sometimes there's like this wildfire effect that you can have on YouTube, where if one person says something, like they'll try and point out something in the video. I don't know. Maybe I messed up something in the video. Maybe I messed up an edit or something like that, and then someone starts laughing about it in the comments or stuff like that. And if I leave that comment there, everyone's going to see that comment. They're all going to start agreeing with them. It's kind of like a bandwagon thing. Whereas if you just block the person that wrote that's being a jerk to you for really no reason, then you don't really have that bandwagon effect that really kind of happens. It's I don't know. I never really had a lot of problems, to be perfectly honest, on YouTube. Never really had a whole lot of problems. Next question. He writes, Dear Nero, as you have always said, and you've made extremely clear in Monday's update video, that you love zombies and you love the zombies game mode. I wanted to know what were your top 3 zombie maps and why. Thanks, Cameron from Illinois. So Cameron, I'm going to say to you, and I suppose it's fair that somebody wouldn't already know about this, because of course subscribers come, subscribers go, but I actually have a video on my channel. It's about 17 minutes long. It's a pretty good one. I spent a lot of time putting it together. It's actually my top 10 zombie maps in Call of Duty history, and I definitely recommend you checking out that video if you're interested to see my opinion on different zombie maps throughout the Call of Duty lifecycle. I also have some other top 10 videos. I have top 10 guns in Call of Duty, top 10 maps, and top 10 camos to go along with the top 10 zombies video. So go check out some of that stuff. I put a lot of work into those videos, and I think you guys would enjoy them if you haven't seen them already. Next question, which kind of ties into the last one, he writes, Dear Nero, are you going to be making any more Call of Duty top 10s anytime soon? I went back and watched a few that you made last year, and I remembered how interesting and well made they were. Thanks, and have a wonderful day. Nick from New Jersey. So Nick, I've been kind of meaning to start putting those together, but the thing about it is, it's like, it's almost like a writer's block in a way. Like, if you have an idea in your head, like you want to do something, but then you realize like everything that's going to have to go into doing that, and then it's like, oh wow, that is like a ridiculous amount of editing. It's a ridiculous amount of research and script writing and everything that I'm going to have to put together to make those videos. And then as soon as you get hit with all that, you're just like, maybe I'll just put that off till next week, and then you end up putting it off and putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. I've been putting off the top 10 kill streak video forever. I do want to make some more top 10 videos. The ideas I have currently, I want to make top 10 kill streaks. Of course, that makes sense. It's mostly top 10 Call of Duty related stuff, right? You think of the fact that we have the guns and we have the maps and we have the camos and we have zombie maps. I think next up we should definitely do kill streaks, because those are definitely a big part. Another idea would be the perks, but perks is a tricky thing. I actually started writing a script for the top 10 perks in Call of Duty, and I thought I had some good choices, but at the exact same time, the perks changed around so much in Call of Duty, and they also changed their name a lot. Like, you think of the fact that originally the Ghost perk, I suppose you would call it, was called UAV Jammer. Right, it was called UAV Jammer in Call of Duty 4. Then it was called Camouflage in World at War. Then it was called Cold Blooded in Modern Warfare 2. Then it was called Ghost in Black Ops. And then in, what was it called in Modern Warfare 3? Was it called Cold Blooded again? No, it was called something silly. I can't remember what it was though. Oh, I can't remember what it was, but whatever. You guys know the perk, that basically the equivalent of Ghost in Modern Warfare 3. It changes its name every single time. Then, of course, you've got pro perks on top of that, which do other things. And sometimes pro perks do the equivalent of what older perks used to do. Like, it's confusing. The perks are, I don't think I could make a top 10 perks video, because the perks are constantly changing. They're constantly changing names. Of course, you have the idea of pro perks. Now you look at what they're doing in the newer games, where they're taking older perks and they're breaking them up into 2 2 perks, whereas before they were taking 2 perks and making them, it's a giant cluster trying to make the top 10 perks. I really don't think I'm ever going to make the top 10 perks, but I do want to do the kill streaks one. I think that would be pretty fun. There's been a lot of cool kill streaks throughout the history of Call of Duty. And then, of course, there's always the idea of doing the polar opposite and do the top 10 worst. What are the top 10 worst guns in Call of Duty history? The worst maps, the worst zombie maps, the worst camos. Looking at you, Desert. Looking at those things, right? That would be fun to do as well too. But once again, keep in mind, this takes a lot of editing, a lot of research. Like, I still think it's my favorite video that I made. My favorite videos and my idea of favorites and stuff, it changes quite a bit in terms of my videos. But I feel as though my favorite video that I've made so far on my channel is probably my top 10 maps in Call of Duty. I feel as though that video is really well put together, and I loved all the research I did and all the extra recording for specific little things I wanted to show on the maps and the editing, the way it was put together. I thought, me personally, I think my top 10 Call of Duty maps video is my favorite video that I made on my channel. And if you guys are watching this far into Dear Nero, if you haven't checked out that video, go check it out. Type in like NerosCinema top 10 maps. Just type that on YouTube. Go watch that video. It's, in my opinion, my favorite video and the best video that I made so far. And leave a comment on that video saying, hey, I came here and check this out from Dear Nero. Leave, I don't know, we'll make a code word. Type in banana in the comments of that video, and that way I can know you came from this Dear Nero to my top 10 maps video, and you guys actually check that out, because you probably haven't seen it before, because of course subscribers come, subscribers go, and I thought it was a really good video. So you guys go ahead and check that out if you guys would like to. But yeah, I want to make more top 10 videos in the relative near future, but I'm just not sure when I'm going to be making these. It's that kind of thing. It's really kind of hard to put a schedule out on those things. I don't like to schedule things like that. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I understand that you play The Elder Scrolls Online. I really enjoyed Skyrim, so I was wondering if you could recommend me The Elder Scrolls Online as an MMO. What I really liked about Skyrim was the wandering. I could be walking or riding a horse all day and still enjoy the game. I myself would think the online version would be too crowded, but I wanted to experience side of view from you. Pim from Amsterdam. So Pim, which is a weird name, Pim, Pim, I've never seen that before. Elder Scrolls Online, is it a lot like Skyrim? I will say yes, but maybe to a smaller extent, but at the exact same time, there's still so much to explore. It's really hard to describe MMO games, right? So, okay, so first and foremost, the game itself is broken into factions, all right? So there's 3 factions. There's the Ebonheart Pact, the Daggerfall Covenant, as well as the Aldmeri Dominion. Now, whatever race you want to play as in the game, that's going to decide which faction you want to be. So basically, pick your favorite race, or if you're playing with friends or something like that, you guys all kind of decide upon the races. So I played in the Aldmeri Dominion, which the races of the Aldmeri Dominion, they consist of the Wood Elves and the High Elves, as well as the Khajiit. Now, let's say, for example, when you played Skyrim, you played the Khajiit, chances are you'll want to play in the Aldmeri Dominion, right? Maybe you would play the Nord instead, because Skyrim is like in the world of the Nords and like the land of the Nords. So maybe you want to play the Nords, and that's gonna put you up there in the Ebonheart Pact. And they're basically broken up in different areas of the map. Like the bottom section of the map is basically where the Aldmeri Dominion stuff is. That's where all your quests is. That's where all your story is, stuff like that. That's your own little zone. Same thing goes for Ebonheart Pact. Same thing goes for the Daggerfall Covenant, right? It's that way. So basically, there's like 3 different games really for you to play. Because like, let's say you go through there, and of course there's the entire main story, which the main story is fantastic if you're a fan of the story of the Elder Scrolls, or just the storytelling that you usually see in Elder Scrolls games. Like if you enjoyed Skyrim and you enjoyed the questing and the story stuff, you'll enjoy Elder Scrolls Online. It's a lot of the same in that respect. And of course, very good story, very great throughout. I don't want to spoil anything. Great story and a whole lot of fun. Of course, be able to experience that with other players at the same time is definitely a whole lot of fun. You enjoy the exploration aspect. There is definitely a lot to explore. There's definitely a lot to explore. I think they've opened up a bunch of new zones since I stopped playing. I definitely think they've done that. I know they had a couple of them opening up as I was leaving. So you can go ahead, and there's always different zones, all these places for you to explore, and all these different places for you to go, and that's really a whole lot of fun. One misconception I think a lot of people make about MMO games is they feel as though there's just going to be people everywhere all the time, and that's really not the case unless you're in like a main town. What a lot of MMO games do, not MMO games, MMO games do is they do phasing. There's like these different kinds of phasing things. So a lot of the quests that you'll do will involve phasing, where basically it kind of puts you in your own little world for a little bit, so no other players end up running in there, because it's like it's something involving the quest that you need to be there, and you don't want other people people randomly running around to spoil that kind of thing, right? So let's say you have a quest where you need to go into this town and talk to this guy, but there's an instance in that town where the town catches on fire and you need to turn it off. Well, the town's not going to just randomly go on fire and not on fire for everybody that's in that area. No, it's going to instance you, so you're not going to see other players, but you'll see all the NPCs and stuff like that, and of course the town will be on fire and you have to, like, you know, save it or something like that, right? So it has that kind of idea. If you like exploring, I think you'll like the Elder Scrolls games. If you like the story of the Elder Scrolls games, I think you'll like it. And as well as there's so many areas to explore. Like me personally, I did all my stuff in the Aldmeri Dominion. I was up there in the Ebonheart Pact area for a little bit, so I haven't really seen a ton of what there is to see in that game. I've never seen anything whatsoever for all the people that play in the Daggerfall Covenant. I haven't seen any of their zones whatsoever. There's a ton to explore. Of course, the entire world PvP in Cyrodiil, it's great, and the game itself is now free to play, as well as I believe they just announced a release date for the Elder Scrolls Online on console, which is kind of interesting because they've been putting that off for quite some time. I think it's coming out in June. Don't quote me on that. You guys can Google it for yourselves. I'm pretty sure an Xbox One and PlayStation 4 version of the Elder Scrolls Online will be coming out in June, so that's going to be interesting. But yeah, if you play on PC, I would definitely recommend the Elder Scrolls Online. It's basically, especially now it's free to play, I can definitely recommend it because it is basically, you're going to pay $60 for this game, and it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a fun experience. You're going to get just as much enjoyment out of it as you did for Skyrim, but you're going to be able to play with other players, and of course you can go do dungeons with other players, stuff like that, where you have to really work together as a team, where you're going to need somebody to be tanking, you're going to need some damage dealers, you're going to need somebody to be doing the healing, and everyone's going to have to work together, and it's really going to be a whole lot of fun. And now that it's free to play, and you're not paying $15 a month, I would definitely recommend any and all of you Skyrim fans out there definitely try out the Elder Scrolls Online. Next and final question, he's going to write, Dear Nero, what are your thoughts on Nintendo's new partnership program? Personally, I think it's a ripoff and kind of an excuse to make money off of YouTubers. Christian from Florida. So Christian, I don't want to go on too long about this because it really doesn't affect me, but it does affect a lot of other channels. If you guys don't know, Nintendo is putting out a new policy where basically you are allowed now to monetize Nintendo products on YouTube, right? So basically, what a lot of people are having issues with is, like, let's say you upload a lot of Smash Brothers or Mario Kart 8 or anything like that. You upload Nintendo-based products. Certain people were just getting all the ad revenue from those videos completely taken away, and all of it was going to Nintendo. It didn't happen for everybody, but it happened to a lot of people. And of course, I was on the side of it. Nintendo, well, technically the Pokemon company, actually took down part 1 of my Pokemon Ruby Let's Play on my Let's Play channel. My most successful video, if you typed in Pokemon Ruby on YouTube, I was the #1 search result. It had well over 100,000 views. It was very great. It was one of the things that really kind of got my Let's Play channel going. And they took it down for really no reason. And Machinima isn't trying to get a hold of them, and they won't reply. And it's really kind of becoming a big ordeal, and it's really annoying. I just want my Let's Play back. I have the original files still saved on a hard drive, and I could re-upload it, but then Machinima says don't do that because they could take it down again. And it's like, I hate you, Nintendo. I hate you, Pokemon Company. And that's why I haven't been uploading any Pokemon playthroughs or anything like that on yours Let's Plays anymore, because Nintendo and Pokemon Company, all those people, they're just unreasonable old people stuck in their old ways, right? And what they're doing with this new system is basically they're going to be allowing YouTubers to actually post up Nintendo products on their channels, but Nintendo is going to be taking like a 20% of like all the ad revenue from that. Now keep in mind, and what really kind of makes it bad is a lot of people don't know about like ad revenue on YouTube, is YouTube takes roughly 40% or so right from the get. Like if you see a video and there's like, let's say there's an advertisement, 40% of the money from that advertisement that you saw goes directly to YouTube. The other 60% goes to the YouTuber, and of course part of that actually ends up going to your YouTube network as well. And now Nintendo is trying to squeeze in there as well, saying we want a little bit of money too. And it's really kind of annoying because if you look at what YouTube is, right, you really think about YouTube, of course we're all on here, we're on YouTube all the time. Of course I made thousands of videos and I'm watching YouTube. Well, I'm not making videos, I'm watching videos. You know, you guys of course probably watch a lot of videos as well, lots of channels aside from just myself. And the big downside to it is they're taking away free advertising. That's really what this is, right? That's what YouTube is. You know, we're not spoiling things like that. When you see somebody do a Let's Play of a game, right? You see somebody do that, you don't watch like the entire Let's Play and think, you know what? Well, I'm glad I watched that. That was a whole lot of fun. Now I have no need to buy the game. Chances are, if you see a YouTuber and they're enjoying a game and they're playing it, you're gonna want to try it for yourself. Chances are, a lot of you guys actually saw me playing the Battlefield Hardline beta and saw my videos. You're like, you know what? It's a free game. I mean, why not download it? I have a PlayStation, I have an Xbox or a PC, whatever. I have that. I can download it. I'll go play. It looks like fun, you know. And that's what YouTube is. That's what these communities build up around these games. And when people start talking about different strategies when playing the games and like their thoughts about the games, and it's an entire community feel. We all know what YouTube is. We all know how YouTube works. Nintendo doesn't. You know, they're just a bunch of old people in Japan that don't know what's going on apparently, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna need to get some of that YouTube money. Which you think of the money that YouTubers make compared to what Nintendo makes, which is I'm pretty sure the wealthiest gaming company out there. You think of the differences in that. For them to essentially nickel and dime what is essentially their biggest fans, the people that are taking the time to make all this content about their games, to try and nickel and dime them to take money from the stuff that they're creating by themselves, kind of ridiculous. I would love for YouTubers as a whole to just kind of stop uploading Nintendo content, or of course, you can still do it if it's like, if you're a huge Nintendo fan. Me personally, I never owned a Nintendo system aside from a Game Boy, so I'm not like one of those huge Nintendo fans that has like a really big back history with like Mario or any of the old Nintendo games that you would have like on the N64 or even before that, even on some of the older consoles. I don't have any of that nostalgia. I didn't play any of those games growing up, so I don't have that kind of connection to this company. But I just really wish, like what we gotta do to get Nintendo to come in to the 21st century? What do we gotta do to go to say, hey Nintendo, hey Nintendo, you know, it's 2015 now, right? They're like, what? It's not 1980? It's not anymore? No, it isn't, Nintendo. It's not. It really isn't. So hopefully, I don't know. I really don't know. Once again, this thing doesn't affect me whatsoever because I don't upload any Nintendo products or any Nintendo intellectual properties to my channels, either one of them. But it's definitely a bad thing overall. It's Nintendo just being Nintendo, I suppose, which apparently is an okay thing because people are like, well, before they couldn't make any money. That's what all the news articles were saying. Before, nobody was allowed to earn any money whatsoever off of their Nintendo videos, where that wasn't really the case. Everybody was. Just about most people were, in fact. I think there's only a couple exceptions of people that were having this issue because Nintendo doesn't understand YouTube enough to go ahead and like get like money from all the Nintendo videos on YouTube. They only took it from as like some of the top Nintendo YouTubers, right? That's what they end up doing. That's also, I think, the reason why the Pokemon company ended up taking down part 1 of my Pokemon Ruby Let's Play, was because it was the #1 search result on YouTube. They probably typed in Pokemon Ruby on YouTube. They saw my video, like, he's not all down that. And they took it down, right? And they take away my video, which is really annoying because now I have a full Let's Play of Pokemon Ruby on my Let's Play channel without the most important episode, which is the first part, you know, where you start the game off, you pick your starter, you know, you get introduced to the series. That's not there. Hopefully that'll get put up or reinstated onto YouTube soon, but man, Nintendo, I do not get them whatsoever. I really feel as though they are stuck in the 1980s. I feel as though they don't know what people want. People, of course, you look at the Wii U and how that's not really selling that well. Lately it's not selling that well. And of course, there's a lot of people that have left Nintendo and they're coming out and they're saying is how Nintendo's really kind of ran, how it's not really run very well, and how the Wii U was an awful name. There's a lot of internal fighting and stuff going on in Nintendo. And I don't know, man. I don't know. Nintendo, they're just... They're weird. They're a bunch of weird people over there at Nintendo, and they're really just they're literally messing with the livelihoods of their biggest fans, which is probably the worst part about the entire thing. It's probably the worst of it. But on a sad, I guess it's a sad way to end this week's episode of Dear Nero. But that is, ladies and gentlemen, the conclusion to this week's episode of Dear Nero. I do hope you guys all enjoyed it, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. And of course, if you would like to submit your questions for next week's episode of Dear Nero, simply send me a personal message here on YouTube. All you really need to do is go to my YouTube channel, go to the About tab, hit the send message button, and in your message, try and start your message off with Dear Nero. That way it's very, very easy when I'm scrolling through all my messages next Wednesday when I make these videos. I can go through all the messages and easily identify which ones are specifically sent for Dear Nero. So be sure to go ahead and do that. I hope you guys all enjoyed this week's episode of Dear Nero, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.